Welcome back, everybody. This is Get Up and Get Better. Today we're talking about the one, the only pride of New York, the Bronx Bombers, the New York Yankees. We're going to talk about Babe Ruth, Lou Gehrig, Joe DiMaggio, Mickey Mantle, Yogi Berra, George Steinbrenner, and Reggie Jackson, the all-time Yankee greats, and how they motivated and inspired all of us across New York and the world. Get ready. We're going to knock this one out of the park. We'll be right back. Get better. Go get it.
You put the pinstripes on, you're wearing tradition and you're wearing pride. I love New York, I love the Yankees, I love everything that the mystique of the Yankees represents.
Everyone, it is time to get up because it is also time to get better. And today we are talking about something I've loved my entire life, something that means as much as anything means to me in this world, and that is the New York Yankees. We have talked about Derek Jeter, we talked about Mariano Rivera, but we're going to go back in time and talk about some of the most inspirational and motivational lessons we have learned from some of the all-time Yankee greats. And we're going back to 1923 with the Ruths, Gehrigs, the greatest in our franchise history of the Bronx Bombers. The Bronx is burning, the New York Yankees. I love the New York Yankees, the tradition it means to me and my family. And growing up, these legends, these guys transformed the world. And there are players all across the league doing what they were doing, but these guys were the New York Yankees, the most prestigious franchise in all of sports, and no one rivals them, no one compares. The Yankees will forever and always be the greatest franchise in the history of Major League Baseball, in the history of sports. So, who are we going to talk about first? We are going to talk about number 3, the Sultan of SWAT, the Colossus of Clout, the great Bambino, Babe Ruth. And, I do like to include a lot of videos of them talking, but as you can imagine, there's not that many, so I'm going to read a lot of the quotes, and I'm going to go with 3 from Babe Ruth that I just love. You just can't beat the person who never gives up. And that's the truth. We talk about that all the time, but you can't beat a person who never gives up. You can't beat them, because if they keep coming back at you, if they keep coming for you, then you can't beat them if they continuously come back. So that's why you have to just try to keep going after it, keep giving it everything you got, and never give up, because you will lose when you give up, but you will win when you never give up. Secondly, never let the fear of striking out get in your way. A lot of people are afraid of rejection. And look, I know growing up, I was, I didn't want to be rejected. I didn't want to have to face rejection, and I faced a lot of it. But you have to face it sometimes, because in life you can't control, rejection. You can't control when people are not doing exactly what you want to do. So never let the fear of striking out get in your way. You have to give it a chance. You have to try your best to do what you can and not let fear get in the way, because fear is what will make you lose. We just talked about that in the Karate Kid episode, You can lose to an opponent. You can't lose to fear. Never let the fear of striking out get in your way. Now, this is a great one. Every strike brings me closer to my next home run. And that's just a great metaphor for life. Every time you strike out, every time it doesn't work out, it's just bringing you to the next step. It's bringing you that much closer to where you want to be, because you're continuously trying. You keep trying. You keep doing more, and it brings you closer to where you want to be. So those are some Babe Ruth quotes. He's arguably the greatest player in the history of baseball. He changed and revolutionized the game of baseball, and he was a New York Yankee, and he built this organization. So that also brings us to another guy that played with him, the Iron Horse, Lou Gehrig. Lou Gehrig's disease, of course, and he got given a tough break, but he never, gave in. He never gave up, and we're going to play this speech.
Weeks, you've been reading about a bad brag. Today, I consider myself the luckiest man on the face of the earth. When you look around, wouldn't you consider it privilege to associate yourself with such a fine-looking man as is standing in uniform in this ballpark today? That I might have been given a bad break, but I've got an awful lot to live for. Thank you.
So although I've been given a bad break, I've got an awful lot to live for. This guy, Lou Gehrig, the pride of the New York Yankees, I still consider him the pride of the New York Yankees because he symbolized everything great about being a New York Yankee. He was given the toughest blow any athlete can face, and he's still considered it a privilege to play for the New York Yankees, an honor to be a baseball player. And he never gave up. He continued. The humility, the humbleness. It was just, he was an unbelievable person of his time and a legend of our game. And he'll never be forgotten for what he did to motivate and inspire other people who have gone through what he has gone through, and anyone who's battled anything that was a tough break for them in their life. And we're going to transition now to a player that Lou Gehrig finished his career, and another guy was coming up, Joltin' Joe, the pride of Italian Americans. You know, this guy came from California, and he revolutionized the game. He made baseball players, you know, after Babe Ruth, become celebrities. He was one of the most dynamic people of his generation, and he married Marilyn Monroe, one of the most famous person on planet Earth at the time. I mean, it was really incredible of a career he had, what he did off the field, an unbelievable person of the game. But this quote I found ties in perfectly with what our message is, and I'm just going to read it, and we're going to talk about it. Motivation is something nobody else can give you. Others can help motivate you, but basically it must come from you, and it must be a constant desire to do your very best at all times and under any circumstances. I mean, that ties in perfectly with Get Better motivation. Motivation is something nobody can give you. That is just such a great way to put it, because no one can give you motivation. You can be motivated by others, but no one can take the motivation within themselves, that desire, and give it to you. You need to find that desire within yourself, and you need to become self-motivated and let other people motivate you and motivate your inner desire. No one can make things happen for you. No one can make you who you are. It is up to you and you alone. Joltin' Joe, great quote. I love that quote. And he also said, I want to thank the good Lord for making me a Yankee. And, you know, Jeter slapped that sign every game. He understood the privilege it was to play for this organization. The inspiration that he gives other New York Yankees to let them know that this is an honor. This is a thing that demands the respect that I gave it and you should give it. That's what made Joe DiMaggio so unique. And with Joe DiMaggio, bled into another career of Mickey Mantle. And Mickey Mantle, you know, he faced a lot off the field. He faced some, you know, personal issues, but he said this once, and I think it's a beautiful quote because it describes everything a baseball player should want to do. Somebody once asked me if I ever went up to the plate trying to hit a home run, and I said, sure, every time. He tried knocking it out of the park every time. And anything you do in your life, anything you do on a field, in a job, anything, you should try and do the very best at all times, no matter what. And, you know, there's some baseball fans out there that would say, yeah, but you don't need a home run every time. You get my point. Go out there and try and knock it out of the park every single time. And that was number 7. And after number 7, there's number 8, Yogi Berra. Yogi Berra had his yogiisms. I'm just going to read a few. When you come to a fork in the road, take it. You can observe a lot by watching. It's like deja vu all over again. Baseball is 90% mental and the other half is physical. A nickel ain't worth a dime anymore. Just these Yogiisms, they do make sense. Take some thinking. When you come to a fork in the road, take it. Just take the opportunity. Either one, just take it. There's a fork. There's two different directions. Take one of them. Make a choice and live with it and use it to get you to where you want to be. You can observe a lot by watching. Just because people are watching doesn't mean they're observing. They're not taking everything in. It's like deja vu all over again. You could have the same deja vu moment multiple times. It's just, he said these things in such unique ways. And he was inspirational. I did find this video of him saying my favorite Yogiism. It's in Rocky, so I'm going to play right here.
It ain't over till it's over.
Play it again.
It ain't over till it's over.
And it ain't over till it's over. Number 8, Yogi Berra had a lot of interactions with the boss, George Steinbrenner. George Steinbrenner turned the Yankees into an absolute juggernaut. They thrived under his reign. Now it's his sons, and he is one of the most unique and dynamic voices in all of baseball history. But what he did was focus and bring back alive that winning culture, winning mentality for the New York Yankees. He said, we are winners. That's what we do, and we're going to try and go and win every single day. And he said once this quote, which stands out, I think is a dynamic George Steinbrenner quote: winning is the most important thing in my life. After breathing first, winning second. And I say that all the time. All you need is breath in your lungs. He knew that. All you need is to breathe. Then anything's possible. Winning is the most important thing after breathing, because you need breathing to win. And then after that, that's all you need. It's all it takes. Breath in your lungs, and you can win. And he wanted to win at all costs. He threw out the money out there for all these guys, and he would do anything it took to win, to be a winner, to make the New York Yankees win. Because what's the point of doing any of it if you are not going to win? And I think that's why everyone loved him, because he knew what the Yankees were about, and he would do anything at all costs to win. And that's why he will forever be known as the boss. And one of those moves he made was to bring over the dynamic personality, Reggie Jackson. I've gotten to meet Reggie multiple times. It's a huge honor every time I'm talking to him. It's Reggie Jackson. I mean, what this guy did for the Yankees in the 70s is unparalleled. And a lot of people said he was arrogant. That's not true at all. He knew what he was, and that was a star. And he said, word for word, when he was coming to New York, that, let me find it. I got it right here. I didn't come to New York to be a star. I brought the star with me. And that's the truth. He came from Oakland. He was already a star. People think, athletes come to New York to get the attention, the media. No, it doesn't matter where you are in the world. Yes, New York will brighten the lights up for you, but you are what is the star. You are the talent. You are what makes a star. And he knew that, and he was a star wherever he went. And he also said, fans don't boo nobodies. They don't. They're not going to boo the third-string quarterback as much as they're going to boo the starting quarterback. Fans don't boo nobodies. The fans are smart. They're going to boo the greatest because opposing teams don't want to see your star thrive. Reggie Jackson never cared. He went out there and played every day to win. That's what the New York Yankees have always been about. Winning, being winners, and winning for the Bronx. And I will always be a diehard New York Yankees fan. Nothing will ever make me change that. I will be with them in the tough seasons, the great seasons, the winning seasons, the losing seasons, because every time they go out there, they're going to try and win. And that's why these players became more than just athletes. They became icons and legends because they showed people what it took to win. Babe Ruth, Mickey Mantle, Joe DiMaggio, Lou Gehrig, George Steinbrenner, Reggie Jackson. There's so many more. But these guys wanted to win. They gave people that sense of pride to be from New York and the Bronx. And there's nothing any Yankee fan could ever do to thank them for making what the Yankees are today. So I want you to do one thing like all of these guys did. Go out there and win, and go out there and get better. Thanks, everybody. I'll see you soon.